Today's review is on the episode of the 23rd season of Family Guy titled Lois C.K. In the episode, Lois is getting ready to go on a girls' night out to a 90s concert. Stewie corrects Lois saying that it's a woman's night out because she and her friends are all in their 40s. You're women. So you saying girls' night out doesn't make any sense. Well, Stewie, even though you're very smart for your age and very intelligent, women are still girls, since they're females. So it's still the same thing. Well, that's funny. He corrected his own mom. So Peter is going to go out and do some prank videos with his buddies. So Lois tells him to make sure that he comes back at least 5 o'clock in the evening so he can come back and take care of Stewie so she can go out for a girls' night out. Once again, Stewie corrects her, saying that it's women's. And then Stewie gives his father a warning to let him know that he better not let him down like he did last time when Peter airplaned Stewie in his cheek. As in, Peter was feeding Stewie some Cheerios when going to the cutaway gag. But for some reason, he did the whole airplane thing like when you do when you're feeding babies. Well, he did that, but instead of him aiming the spoon into Stewie's mouth, he for some reason spooned it into Stewie's cheek. Like, how the heck did you do that, Peter? But whatever. So it's nighttime in Quahog, and Lois is mad, which means obviously Peter didn't stick to his word. According to Lois, he's 2 hours late. He should have been home 2 hours earlier at 5 o'clock in the evening, just like Lois said. With her saying he's 2 hours late, that means that it's already 7 o'clock in Quahog, and Peter is late. So then Peter finally shows up as he's frozen in an ice cube, and he wanted to explain. But Lois is so upset, she tells him don't even bother as she storms out angrily to meet up with her girls. And then Peter says you should see the other guys, and then Quagmire shows up on fire. I'm surprised the guy isn't screaming. I'm surprised he's not going, ah! 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 It burns like hell! Ah! I'm surprised. He just show up out of nowhere, just calm, cool, and collected on fire, and then you see Cleveland flying around with superpowers. Yeah, what a night you guys had. Hope you had fun. Anyways, Lois shows up and finally meets up with Bonnie and Donna and that one chick that wears glasses and wears a bun in her hair. And Bonnie already guessed that Peter showed up late. And so she ends up paying Donna, because I guess Donna and Bonnie made a bet, and I'm sure Donna bet Bonnie that Peter would show up late. And he did. And so Lois asked if she missed Sir Mix-a-Lot performed, and Bonnie told her that she did, but then he pretty much got to the point where he mixed it up by doing his own version of Baby Got Back with a new version called Baby Got Knees. And it was so hilarious seeing the animated version of Sir Mix-a-Lot performing a remix version of Baby Got Back called Baby Got Knees. And it was awesome and hilarious. Oh my God. I mean, everybody in the crowd pretty much started leaving. They didn't want to hear that crap. Oh my God. The girls are hanging out. It's open mic night, and Seamus is performing. Then Lois gets a text from Peter where he's asking about where the mayo is at. Seamus pretty much confronts Lois, telling her to put her phone down because he's trying to tell jokes. And then Lois pretty much fired back at him, and she starts making jokes about him. And then Seamus asked her, okay, well, if you think you're so funny, then why don't you come up on stage? And Lois says she couldn't because she's not a comedian. But Bonnie encouraged her to do it. And she wasn't just doing it because she was tired of Lois coughing and sneezing on her. And then Lois starts coughing and sneezing on Bonnie. Lois, as Dane Cook would say, cover your effing mouth. Cover your effing mouth. Why are you coughing and sneezing on Bonnie? What the hell? And then Bonnie angrily tells Lois, just go. Shit. I like how Bonnie's voice is now pretty much, it sounds a bit deeper and not really raspy. I like it. I'm still loving Chris's voice, how it's all deep now. His voice being deeper just sounds funnier.
You're getting off parole? Does this mean I can finally stop giving you my pee?
Not yet, so stay off drugs and keep that hose flowing.
Chris has finally hit puberty, guys. Lois starts making jokes about Peter, and everybody is laughing their asses off, and they like it. So you guys remember the Meet the Quagmires episode? The scene where Brian sings the Never Gonna Give You Up song? And remember that one guy who laughs real loudly as he claps his hands? Yeah, well, he returned in this Lois C.K. episode. There he is. Yeah, and he did the same thing, laughing loudly and clapping his hands together as Lois tells her jokes about Peter. Good to see you again, the guy who laughs loudly when clapping his hands. Guy shows up to Lois, and he pretty much wants to make her a big comedian. And Lois is up for the task. Then Peter shows up and he tells her that he found the mayo underneath the sink, but he said something about it was misspelled Drano. Dude, what is wrong with you, Peter? That's Drano. That's not mayo. Nobody misspelled it. Oh my God. Peter's retardedness has kicked in. Oh my God. So in the next scene, Brian and Stewie notice that Lois is up to something. And especially for Stewie, since she's gotten a lot of her cleaning done. And then it shows a cutaway gag where Stewie comes to Lois because he duty on himself. And Lois get a whiff of the smell, as you can see her nostril. And then she just sucks his poop from his suspenders. And then Stewie's like, as he feels so much better. And then Stewie's upset because apparently she didn't get the front. What was she supposed to get? What? Some urine? You pee on yourself, little guy? Is that it? So Brian and Stewie confront Lois to find out what's up. So Brian's like, he knows what she's up to. And then he assumes that she's probably cheating on Peter. And if she was, Brian was wondering if he can get a little whack at it. You and Quagmire. I can see Quagmire trying to do the same thing. And then I like how Stewie respond back saying, hey, shoot your shot, playboy. He called Brian Playboy. Lois is shocked because she tells Brian that she's not cheating on Peter. Are you sure about that, Lois? What about the past episodes nowadays on Family Guy with your so-called affairs? So then she talked about she does have a secret. Oh, okay, so you are cheating on Peter. Please, do tell. But apparently her secret is that she is a stand-up comedian. So I guess you aren't cheating on Peter. Yeah, so she pretty much explains her stand-up gig, and she goes by the name Lois the Crowd Killer. But she had to shorten it to just Lois C.K. because it was too long. And so it's gotten so great to the point that her stand-up gig is part of a comedy festival. Part of NetSip. Brian thought it was Netflix, but it's NetSip. And if it does so well, it might be sold to, I think she said Fubi. And then Brian, it was funny when he asked her, what is that? Is that Asian food? No, she said Fubi is some streamer. And then I like how Brian sneezes. And then Lois responds back saying, oh, I love their shows. Bring out the Kleenex. I like that. That was clever. Brian sneezed and then she mentions about the shows Bring Out the Kleenex. That was a good one. So at the Drunken Clown, Joe, Quagmire, Cleveland, and Peter are enjoying each other's company. Then apparently Joe finds out that Bonnie posted a video of Lois on Facebook. And it's her making jokes about Peter. And Peter doesn't get it because he's retarded. So Joe, Quagmire, and Cleveland had to break it down to him another way. So Joe pretty much used sign language for Peter to understand. And Peter does sign languages too. And then towards the end, he does a whole just like Chris. So Peter finds out, he confronts Lois. And then Lois asks him, what's up with him gluing the toilet to the top of the bathroom ceiling? And then Peter looking all disappointed, not proud of himself because he had to fess up. And so Lois lets him have it. I mean, she deals with him up to his idiotic shenanigans. All she does is just sit back and just deal with it. But at the same time, it is exhausting for her. So Peter vows to find a way to make sure that Lois stops making jokes about him. Peter decides to try to act all smart. He's acting all studious. The very next day in the morning, he calls Chris, Meg, and Stewie by their actual birth names, saying Christopher, Stuart, Megan, and he called Brian Douglas. Douglas? What? Why you call him Douglas? Well, whatever. Peter, he continues saying the smart, studious things, but Lois is not buying it because she knows that it's in his blood. And then I like how they show like his blood cells inside his body, where they're pretty much like Larry, Curly, and Moe from the Three Stooges. Genius. Lois still believes he's not going to keep it up. But then she goes to Bonnie's and she's all stressed out. Her hair is all messy looking. Peter is still going to the point that the man has a funeral for his whoopee cushions. A Viking's funeral for his whoopee cushions. So Peter is shown with a bow and arrow, with the arrow on fire. He lets it go and the arrow lands into the Viking boat with all his whoopee cushions inside, and it sets on fire. And you hear farting noises from the whoopee cushions. Oh my God, that's so funny. And Peter is killing it. He killing it. Man, he was dead serious that Lois stops his jokes about him. Get her, Peter. Lois has another stand-up gig. She tries to make some great jokes to make the people laugh, and they're not laughing. And Peter's there, and it gets to the point where they're upset, and they pretty much start throwing things at her. And then Peter wants them to put a stop to it, so he runs up to the stage to protect Lois. As they try to throw food at Lois, Peter eats all the food that they throw up on the stage. And then he noticed the one guy that's eating his sandwich. He asked him if he was going to eat it. The guy said he was working on it. And then Peter all disappointed, like, oh, big boys gotta eat. And then they randomly throw cans at Peter. Then they apologize to each other, but since they didn't have much time, as they broke the fourth wall, they quickly apologize to each other real fast as they go into a commercial break. So then towards the end of the episode, one night, Peter apologizes for everything. Lois says it's okay, especially since Joe pretty much has taken over her place. So now Joe is telling jokes. The people don't laugh, but they do clap for him. And then they finish off the episode with a more full-length version of Sir Mix-a-Lot's remix version of Baby Got Knees. It's a music video, and it was great. I enjoyed this episode very much. It was very funny. You guys tell me your thoughts. What do you think of the Sir Mix-a-Lot's remix version of Baby Got Back called Baby Got Knees?
I like thick knees when they bend real high. Some brothers wanna love that thigh. When a girl walks in, better show me them shins and bend. Looking like the letter N, I get chub. I like them hard and bony, not prosthetic and phony. Much love to the honeys with glamour. Knees be knocking like a ball peen hammer.